Hello there folks, my name is Spoonks and I saw the Super Mario Brothers movie. It was alright. Now when this movie was first announced, I was a bit skeptical. I was happy that Nintendo was pretty much all over this movie. They saw everything about the production, everything about the movie here. All their fingerprints are all over the film, thankfully. And I was also happy that it was going to be fully animated. The downside was that this was by Illumination. Now, I don't hate Illumination as much as everybody else. In fact, I pretty much like most of their films, really. It's just that their adaptations are my least favorite films out of their filmography. I don't like The Grinch, and I hate The Lorax, so I was a bit concerned. But then we saw more footage from the movie with the trailers and all the promotional material, and it looked great. Animation looked outstanding. It looked funny. I was excited to see what Illumination and Nintendo had in store for the film. And while unfortunately it did not live up to my expectations, I still had a pretty decent time with this movie. Could it have been better? Yeah, but I was still satisfied with what I got. Easily the best thing about this movie is the animation. It is very faithful to the source material. The designs of the characters all look like their counterparts, with a little bit of an Illumination touch to make them distinguishable from the games. And I thought they all looked really nice and well designed. The settings, whether it be Bowser's Castle, Peach's Castle, the Mushroom Kingdom, or various other locations in this game that I will not spoil, they all look so gorgeous, well designed. It's brightly colored, gorgeous to look at. It's all very pretty. The movements are fast with an emphasis on squash and stretch, which benefits the comedy and the action scenes. Speaking of those are a ton of fun, exciting, and engaging to watch. And all around, I applaud the animators for what they were able to achieve here. It is truly outstanding and Illumination's best looking film to date. Another positive I had with this movie was the comedy. This seems to be a hit or miss, make or break type of thing when it comes to this movie for a lot of people, but it was a hit for me. I thought this movie was hilarious. A lot of the jokes worked. They were well written, very well timed, and I was just cracking up pretty much start to finish. A lot of this was just really funny to me, whether they'd be little references or how they point out certain things about the games or just how the characters play off of one another. It was all just really funny. I was laughing a lot throughout the movie. And lastly, as a video game adaptation, this is pretty much perfect. Again, the animation is outstanding, but everything else, whether it be the tons and tons of references that they stick with, some of them being like 20 things in one scene. I'm pretty sure even as a casual Mario fan, I missed like 50% of them. The score, how it incorporates music from the games, is beautiful and just lovely to listen to, and the references are pretty much all over this movie. I think if you are a die-hard Mario fan, your brain is going to explode. Your heart is going to melt with joy. This movie was made for you. And I think it does a great job of incorporating these things into the movie. It never felt forced. It never felt, to me at least, in your face or obnoxious to me. It all felt very natural and soothing. It does make me question how non-fans or people who have never played Mario will feel about this movie, but aside from that, this movie really works as a video game adaptation. But unfortunately, everyone, I do have a lot of criticisms with this movie that held it back from being as good as I think it is. First, there's the story. Now, this is a very simple story, and I am completely fine with that. Mario is a simple game. It should have a simple movie, and while I don't think the story on its own is bad, I just think it falters in its execution, because whenever the movie wants you to focus on the story, when it's not trying to be funny, when it's not trying to incorporate some cool things about the games or have a huge, big action set piece, and again, focus on the plot, I found those sequences and parts of the film to be really boring, uninteresting, and unengaging, sadly. I really felt if they put as much effort as into the animation and staying true to the games with the set pieces and cool, fun moments here and there, into the story, I think it would have benefited the film a lot. Another big issue with this movie is the pacing. This movie just moves by way too fast. Not in the natural sense where like, oh my gosh, this movie went by a lot quicker than I thought. Like, it really felt like the filmmakers wanted to get to the next big set piece or the next reference as quickly as possible, and it doesn't leave you enough time to breathe. There are moments in the beginning where it does that, and it does that perfectly, like establishing the relationship between Mario and Luigi. And there's one scene in the middle involving Mario and Peach talking in a field that I thought was pretty good, but though that's about it really. Everything else is just go, 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 and again, not in the good sense where you feel it just like, oh my gosh, this movie's flying by. Like, it really feels like they just want to get to the next big action set piece, the next big fun exciting moment as quickly as possible. And I really felt like, I don't think this movie needed to be longer. Lord no, I think 92 minutes is perfect for this movie. Keep it that way. I'm grateful for that. I just think that they could have used more scenes like the ones I discussed earlier to just like slow down, get to know the characters more, and maybe make us care about the story a bit better. Which leads me to my next complaint: the characters. Now, I didn't hate the characters in this movie. In fact, a lot of them were really likable and entertaining. The standouts being Bowser, Luigi, and Donkey Kong. I do feel like they were underdeveloped and a bit one note, really. And again, that is mostly due to the pacing. You don't really get enough time to explore the characters. It's always on the move to get to the next big action set piece, unfortunately. For a movie called the Super Mario Brothers movie, you don't get to see a lot of the brothers. It's mainly at the beginning and the end, as Luigi is pretty much sidelined and pretty much gone for the entire second half of the movie until the climax. So if you're a Luigi fan, I think you'll be pretty disappointed, honestly. And as for Mario, while I did like what they initially set him up with rescuing his brother, and that dynamic between the two of them that was established early in the movie, that was perfect. That was easily the best moments of character in the movie. But again, since Luigi is sidelined, we get to spend more time with developing his relationship with Peach. And it wasn't bad, but I felt like his dynamic with Luigi was far better. I also thought Peach was severely underdevelopment, and their whole relationship felt a bit rushed. They just kind of jumped into the whole friendship thing pretty quick. Again, we could have used a bit more establishment. Toad was just kind of there, really. He was just there for gags. I don't even know why he was along for the adventure, really. So yeah, these characters weren't hateable. I didn't dislike any of them. They had their moments to shine in the movie. It's just that I feel like, again, due to the pacing, they could have worked on making us care for these characters a bit better, making them a bit more likable and more well developed, honestly. And the last big complaint I have with this movie, and this is going to sound a bit nitpicky, but the usage of pop songs. Now, this usually does not bother me really in animated films. I could care less, honestly. But when you have a score such as good as this one by Brian Tyler, utilizing the music from the games and incorporating it with a cinematic orchestra that was just so wonderful to listen to, and then you play a pop song, it felt very out of place and strange. And like, I love Take On Me by a-ha. I think it's a perfect song, but what was it doing in the Mario movie, specifically in the scene they used it? It was just so bizarre, really. So yeah, overall, this movie is fine. Not bad, not good, just fine. I can understand the criticisms, but I can also understand the acclaim. I'm honestly really surprised that this movie has led to one of the bigger discussions online. It's very strange to me, really, but it's not like I don't understand it. Basically, I'll put it this way. As a video game adaptation, as a movie that's trying to adapt the games into the medium of film, it exceeds as that. If you just want to see Mario on the big screen with all your favorite references and scenes and cameos from the games. You are going to get all your money's worth. If you are a Super Mario super fan, definitely go rush out to see this. I think kids are going to love it. Definitely go out to see it. But if you're looking for a good movie, you are probably better off avoiding this. The story and the characters are very lacking, unfortunately. You're probably better off with Detective Pikachu if you want a better story and characters. With that being said, I'd honestly be down for a sequel, you know? This is such a big world and a big franchise to explore. There's so many possibilities to take with another movie, and I'm certain they're going to announce it very soon with how successful this movie has already done. More on that on the next box office chat. But yeah, I'd be very happy to see another one. This movie wasn't horrible, and I'm definitely hoping in the sequel they use the criticisms and turn them into acclaim and use them to better the sequel, honestly. Same way how Sonic 2 and Angry Birds 2 were huge improvements over their predecessors. So yeah, again, could it have been better? Yeah, but I was still satisfied. I had a good enough time. Would I ever watch it again? Maybe not immediately, but I'm not opposed to not watching it again either. And those were my thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie. What did you all think of it? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.